Just because some talking head calls it an insurrection doesn't mean it's one, unless there's a campaign to make it look like one.
But elections that have been held with mail have found substantial fraud and coercion. For example, we indicted someone in Texas, 1,700 ballots collected from people who could vote. He made them out and voted for the person he wanted to. Okay? Because that kind of thing happens with mail-in ballots, and everyone knows that.
But there are individuals cases, but as far as widespread fraud, we haven't seen that since...
Well, we haven't had the kind of widespread use of mail-in ballots that's being proposed. We've had absentee ballots from people who request them from a specific address. Now what we're talking about is mailing them to everyone on the voter list when everyone knows those voter lists are inaccurate.
This will be the first general election in Pennsylvania where mail-in ballots will be accepted, and many voters are expected to vote that way. Earlier this week, Governor Wolf called on the legislature to change the law.
Sometimes multiple ballots come to the same address with a whole several generations of occupants. Do you think that's a way to run a vote?
Well, the only thing I'm saying is that so far we haven't seen widespread fraud. But
so far we haven't tried it. Well, and the point is
that a lot of us... there are several states that only have mail-in voting, including a Republican
Well,
state
this
like
is
Utah.
playing with fire. This is playing with fire. We're a very closely divided country here. And if people have to have confidence in the results of the election and the legitimacy of the government, and people trying to change the rules to this methodology, which, as a matter of logic, is very open to fraud and coercion, is reckless and dangerous. And the people are playing with fire.
Well, who's trying to change the rules right now?
I would say the people who want to go to mass mail-in ballots.
Do you think President Trump will stay President Trump, an active president for another 4 years, or is Joe Biden going to win out? What's your gut feeling?
Joe Biden will be the next president of the United States. Donald Trump will be history by, I'd put it at 8:45 on Eastern Time Tuesday night.
So, as I said, counties continue to report results. And again, these results are coming in more slowly than they have in the past. So we have to be patient, but confident that these votes are going to be counted. They're going to be counted accurately, and they will be counted fully.
So remember on election night, battleground states like Pennsylvania said they were stopping counting ballots for the night when President Trump was well ahead. Then all of a sudden they started getting ballot dumps late at night that were heavily in Biden's favor, with some batches at 100% for Biden. Is that even statistically possible?
So what we're waiting for is Pennsylvania. We're waiting for some numbers to come in, and it's a real tight margin right now. So let's go and see what we have.
Well, we just got some batch from Philadelphia, and you see what it just did. Joe Biden is now in the lead by 5,500 votes. We got a big batch just now from Philadelphia. Let me show you, as you can see here.
And there are 3 million millions of mail-in ballots that are being counted, and that takes longer than the way we used to do it with the in-person voting. So we may not know the results even today, but the most important thing is that we have accurate results. Again, even if that takes a little longer than we're used to.
This is where we have been telling you the math has been working against the president. The ballots that were left to count were coming from Joe Biden's strongholds here in southeast Pennsylvania, and that's why this is continued to move.
To have that many votes coming in without a single vote for another candidate is very unusual.
And then late in the evening or early in the morning, boom, these explosions of bullshit.
The real history. The real facts, the real truth. The facts and the truth. What did we not see? We didn't see a former president who had just rallied the mob to attack, sitting in the private dining room off the Oval Office in the White House, watching it all on television and doing nothing for hours as police were assaulted, lives at risk. The nation's capital under siege. This was an armed insurrection. They weren't looking to uphold the will of the people. They were looking to deny the will of the people. They were looking to uphold, they weren't looking to uphold a free and fair election. They were looking to overturn one.
Yikes, you're not supposed to talk about this. Well, screw that. And I'm glad that President Trump came out with a very bold statement after Joe Biden spoke, and we're going to read it right now in its entirety. To watch Biden speaking is very hurtful to many people, he wrote. They're the ones who tried to stop the peaceful transfer with a rigged election. Just look at the numbers. Does anybody really think that Biden beat Obama with the black population in select swing states, but nowhere else? That he would lose 18 out of 19 bellwether counties and 27 out of 27 toss-up House races, but somehow miraculously receive the most votes in American history with no coattails? That he would lose Florida, Ohio, and Iowa and win, even though it was never done before? 4 years to try to overturn the 2016 election, and now they lie about how they interfered in the 2020 election, too. Big tech was used illegally. Where did all those votes show up from in Georgia, where it was just revealed they sold ballots for $10 apiece, or in Pennsylvania and Arizona and Wisconsin? He acts like he's aggrieved, but we're the ones who were aggrieved, and America is suffering because of it, with poisonous borders, record inflation, a humiliating surrender in Afghanistan, $5 a gallon gas and higher, empty stock shelves, and rampant crime. America is a laughingstock of the world, and it's all because of the real insurrection, which took place on November 3rd. But this is an election year, and MAGA Republicans should get elected and work with me to fix this horror that Joe Biden and the Democrats have brought us. Never forget the crime of the 2020 presidential election. Never give up. Those words released today by the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump. And it is legal and appropriate and right to talk about these things, okay?
I am your voice.